All right, here we go again, counting down to another potential government shutdown Friday into Saturday.
Yeah, so Congress has to come to an agreement on spending to avoid an economic nightmare for many of our neighbors whose paychecks come from the federal government. All right, Casey Nolan is live on Capitol Hill tonight to break it all down for us. Casey.
Well, Zoe, Leslie, the good news, I suppose, is leaders from both parties came out of a meeting with the president today sounding determined to avoid a shutdown. Not only are they facing dual shutdown deadlines, there is also a State of the Union scheduled here next week.
Is this any way to run a government?
No, it's a terrible way to run a government.
Inefficient and all too familiar, says George Washington University professor Peter Loge.
And it doesn't increase public trust in government.
If Congress can't reach a spending agreement by midnight Friday into Saturday, critical services at the Department of Transportation will come to a stop, and food and housing assistance for millions of Americans will quickly run out. And that is just the beginning. This shutdown comes in two phases. Without a broader deal, the rest of the government will shut down just a week later on March 8th.
This is about the people who work in the government, many of whom are contractors who may not get paid. They serve coffee, they pick up garbage, they guard buildings. And the other are those of us who rely on federal services that make our lives safe and secure.
Far-right Republicans are pressuring House Speaker Mike Johnson to block any deal that does not include a list of demands like cutting funding for background checks to buy guns, cutting incentives for buying electric vehicles, and defunding Planned Parenthood. At the same time, Loge says the speaker may be motivated by a date between the dual shutdown deadlines. President Biden is scheduled to deliver his State of the Union address on March 7th, one day before the second deadline.
If the government shuts down partially or remains open, but the second deadline isn't hit, Biden has a great talking point when he stands in front of the rostrum, when he stands in front of the House of Representatives and says, do your job. Failure to solve this fast hands the Biden administration a win.
Not only is Congress on a deadline, a lot of lawmakers are out of town. The House is not due back here until tomorrow night, just 2 days before the deadline. Leslie and Zoe.
Just shining a light again on this very interesting constituency that can not do their job, but still get paid.
And we're in this
if
place
they haven't done their job
over and over again every year. All right, Casey, thank you. Also